The Baltimore Ravens are about to make a move that nobody saw coming, and if they pull this off, Lamar Jackson becomes genuinely unstoppable. Please like and subscribe for more update about Ravens. Here's the thing nobody is talking about loudly enough right now. The Dallas Cowboys are in complete chaos. Their star wide receiver, George Pickens, is sitting at home. He has not signed his franchise tag. He's not showing up to any team activities. And the Cowboys front office just stood in front of cameras and basically admitted they have no idea when, or even if, this situation gets fixed. That is not a small problem. That is a 5-alarm fire burning right in the middle of Dallas, Texas, the day before the NFL draft. And guess who should be standing outside with a bucket of water, ready to take full advantage? The Baltimore Ravens. But here's what makes this whole thing even wilder. Stick with us, because the Cowboys' draft strategy is about to make this trade conversation explode in a way that most people are completely missing. Let's break down exactly how bad things have gotten in Dallas. Top NFL insider Adam Schefter went on ESPN this morning and did not sugarcoat a single word. He said the Cowboys and George Pickens are absolutely nowhere on a new contract. Not close. Not progressing. Nowhere. Now, a lot of people assumed Dallas slapped the franchise tag on Pickens as a short-term move, a way to keep him around while they quietly worked out a long-term extension in the background. That is how franchise tags usually work. Teams use them as a bridge to a bigger deal. That bridge. It does not exist right now. Stephen Jones then walked up to reporters before the draft and confirmed it straight up. Pickens will play on the tag this year, there will be no long-term contract discussions, and the team has zero guarantees about when Pickens will even show his face at the facility. Why? Because until he physically signs that franchise tag tender, he cannot legally attend a single off-season workout. Cowboys reporter Todd Archer backed up every single word of it. So here is where Dallas stands today. One of the most talented wide receivers in the entire NFL is sitting at home, unsigned, unhappy, and with no resolution anywhere in sight. The Cowboys have a massive wide receiver problem and a draft happening in less than 24 hours. Is this a disaster? Absolutely. But for Baltimore, this might be the greatest opportunity they've had in years. Now here's the real question. Why would Dallas actually agree to trade him? This is where it gets really interesting, and this is what most people are sleeping on completely. Dallas desperately wants to move up in this draft. They've been connected to defensive prospects like Caleb Downs and even Shedeur Sanders' teammate Sonny Styles Jr. They've had conversations with Cleveland about a potential trade-up. They've even had Arizona and the number 3 pick mentioned in the same breath as their name. Here's the problem. The Cowboys have publicly said they will not trade picks 12 and 20, their 2 first-rounders, to move up. But they also have no second-round pick this year. So their best ammunition to trade up is essentially a third-round selection. That's not going to get you very far in the conversation. Unless, and here's the magic, unless they trade George Pickens. Think about it. If Baltimore sends over a package for Pickens, suddenly Dallas has extra capital. They can use picks 12 and 20 to jump up for a top defensive player, and the trade compensation they receive from Baltimore fills the hole left by moving those picks. They get their defensive target and they replace Pickens with Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, who is expected to go right around pick 12 anyway. Jordan Tyson comes in at rookie contract money. George Pickens is about to cost someone serious cash. The Cowboys could clean up their salary situation, land a defensive piece they love, grab a replacement receiver for a fraction of the cost, and solve the Pickens drama all in one night. Who do you think wins this trade, Ravens or Cowboys? Drop your answer in the comments right now. So why does George Pickens make so much sense for Baltimore specifically? Because he is not a project. He is not a gamble. He is not a rookie you're hoping develops into something special over the next 2 or 3 seasons. George Pickens is a proven, elite NFL wide receiver. Last season, the man put up nearly 1,500 yards, hauled in 93 catches, and found the end zone 9 times. In a Cowboys offense that was inconsistent at best, he still produced at an all-pro level. He did that with Dak Prescott throwing him the ball. Now imagine what he does with Lamar Jackson. Lamar is one of the most dynamic quarterbacks this league has ever seen. He can throw it deep, he can extend plays, and he makes every single weapon around him look better. George Pickens is a big, physical ex-receiver who runs crisp routes, wins contested catches, and has the speed to take the top off any defense in the league. He is exactly the kind of weapon that takes a good offense and turns it into a nightmare for every defensive coordinator in football. And here's something that gets overlooked. Pickens is only 25 years old. That's the same age as some of the wide receivers about to get drafted tomorrow night. You're not taking a chance on potential. You already know what you're getting. You've watched him do it for 3 years in the NFL. Now pair him next to Zay Flowers. Flowers is quick, shifty, dangerous in the slot, and a matchup problem underneath. Pickens is the big, downfield, go up and get it receiver who stretches the field vertically. That combination, one small and quick, one big and physical, is a legitimate headache for any secondary in the conference. That's not just a good receiver room. That's a top 5 receiver room overnight. Yes, the contract would cost real money. Nobody is pretending it's free. But Baltimore has financial flexibility coming. Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith are both on contracts that don't have to carry into next season. Move on from those deals after this year and the cap space opens up significantly. The money for Pickens can absolutely be found if the front office gets creative. And right now, there are signs that this Ravens front office is ready to be exactly that. And that brings us to something Eric DeCosta said that should have every Ravens fan paying very close attention. The Ravens general manager recently talked about the new era of Baltimore football. He mentioned being excited about new voices, new ideas, and new ways of approaching problems. He talked about challenging himself to think differently and being open to moves that this organization might not have traditionally made. New head coach Jesse Minter is in the building. New coordinators are in the building. New energy is everywhere inside that organization. If there was ever a moment for Eric DeCosta to shock the NFL and make a bold, aggressive move that nobody saw coming, a move that hands Lamar Jackson an elite, proven, ready-right-now weapon, this is that moment. The Ravens pick 14th tomorrow night. There are good wide receivers in this draft. Jordan Tyson has been mentioned constantly, and there are quality options in the 2nd and 3rd rounds too. But here is the hard truth. None of those guys are George Pickens. Not on day 1. Not even close. You can find a quality offensive lineman in round 2. Centers and guards with starting potential are available deep into this draft. Edge rushers and defensive linemen can be found in rounds 3, 4, and 5. But a receiver with 1,500 yards of NFL production, proven reliability, and elite physical tools. You cannot draft that. You have to go get it. And one more thing for anyone who thinks this deal is impossible because of the franchise tag. You can absolutely trade a player who is on the franchise tag. That is completely legal under NFL rules. Dallas can move Pickens even though he hasn't signed the tender yet. The Ravens could acquire him, work out the long-term deal themselves, and turn this whole messy Cowboys situation into their biggest offseason win. Shocking. 100%. But sometimes the most shocking moves are the ones that change everything. Baltimore is one elite wide receiver away from being a genuine Super Bowl threat. George Pickens is sitting in Dallas, unsigned, unhappy, and available. The Ravens have the resources. They have the need. They have a quarterback who would make Pickens look like the best receiver in football. The only question left is whether Eric DeCosta has the nerve to make the call. And after everything he said about doing things differently this year, something tells me that phone might already be ringing. Stay locked in. The draft is tomorrow and things are about to move fast.